party. Tux and I got to chatting and just ended up deciding I should just go live so that I don't keep delaying the after party. But yeah, dude. So I'm doing this thing to like get to my birthday, streaming every day till the 12th, and then the goal from there is to do a push straight through like 1,000 subs. Because I just got to 100 the other day on Pocket Locker, and it's already almost at 200. Which just kind of feels ridiculous because I remember thinking, I'm going to go bonkers when I get to 100 subscribers. And I haven't even had time to like react to having 100 subscribers properly. And it's almost at 200. And then all this other stuff is happening. And I'm like, fuck it. We just need to just start pushing to 1,000 at this point. I don't even...
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Yeah, exactly. What up, Cameron? But ultimately, the goal was to be able to do what Derek can do, which is to get to the point where our sort of our universe of characters that we're establishing in the cult of personality internet lore, I hope that we're doing things that other people want to do, that they're like, oh, I want to start a channel, and these guys have figured out the way to go, like maybe they'll help me, right? And so we'll be like, use Restream. And they'll be like, but I was thinking about maybe using Whereby, and I noticed that Nathan used a StreamYard, and we'll be like, fuckface, do you want us to tell you the story of the month we spent, like changing broadcast software like 6 times every week for a month, or do you want to know the answer to the question? Because if you just want the answer to the question, it's use fucking Restream, right? No, but seriously, being able to be like, here's why we use Restream. It's because it allows you to do the multi-platform streaming. You have a really nice integrated web chat. It's really easy to host call-in shows. Like, yes, if you want all these features, you're going to have to pay money, but it's worth it. And if you want your channel to grow, we suggest you just use Restream, right?
Yeah. How much is the Restream? Which package?
I gotta look at it again. I don't like looking at it. It's unpleasant. But it's thanks, Cameron. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's wild. I don't. It's just so much. But yeah. So the idea would be, hopefully, we'd be able to get to that point. So when Cameron Bennett finally starts a channel, we can say, hey, everybody, go subscribe to Cameron Bennett, and then Cameron Bennett will have 1,000 subscribers and actually be able to monetize his fitness empire like a lot faster.
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. Listen, Cameron, people just want to be thoughts, right? So if you have a gift that a lot of us don't really have, you can actually help people look better, right?
Well,
like let's just call it what it is. People want to be hot,
It's looking at his Insta. I mean to tell you, there's a lot of balls in this world, but man, Cameron is a super ball.
Yeah.
You watch him. He doesn't just bounce, man. He bounces, and you can't find him for a second.
Yeah, man, we gotta help Cameron blow up. Yeah, y'all gotta go subscribe to Cameron Bennett. He can help you be a thought, He can help you be sexy. Just don't tell him about your snacks. You gotta have a secret snack drawer you don't tell him about. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so my thing is too, like, I don't know, like a lot of people are gonna have to start YouTube channels because my stuff's not gonna be what they want, right? Like I wanna promote my club and do nerdy science stuff, and I really like, my big dream is Sacred, right? Sacred is like the animated show. It's like based on my life, but it's made in GTA. It's probably gonna take me like a month to make each episode, right? And so I'm gonna have to do a ton of like late night streams where we spend like 4 hours editing like one scene from Sacred because I need the cuts to be just right, you know. And then like I want to like sit here and be like, y'all, this week we're gonna log in probably about 65 hours on stream programming a digital evolution brain, right? Because I want people to see the journey, right? So it's just like my vision is real weird, right? So that's why Pocket Locker is always its own thing, and then Jay Bundy in the end, once we get over that line, like Jay Bundy will just have the shows. If you just want Counter-Apologetics, like go to Jay Bundy, have your little Counter-Apologetics, and then Pocket Locker will just be wild. But hopefully, you know, people will spin off, and like No Good and Evil, they'll be able to get some good stuff there. You know, Hot Program will always be really good Counter-Apologetics and the type of stuff we're doing there. So yeah, I want to branch out and do. You heard about my pizza and wings. See, Cameron, I had a long weekend. Cameron, you have a lot of cheat days. When you do 4 broadcasts, I was like, I need to power up. I'm getting a pizza. I call that mood food. You know, sometimes when you're bipolar, you got to stabilize your mood. And sometimes it's food, you know. It's unfortunately that the food that puts me in the best mood is not good for my body. Luckily, I'm manic as fuck, so I burn a lot of energy. So that's good. But yeah, that's my cheat right there. Pizza and wings, man. I'm like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pretty much with the diet.
So speaking of pizza and wings, when what about? I asked Derek about him going to atheist conventions. You got any plans? There's one not too far from you. You're in Lansing still?
Yeah. So I haven't done anything.
So there's one that's going to be the end of August, called Baja Con, just on the Port Huron. On the Canadian side of Port Huron. I don't remember what the name of the town is.
So I haven't done anything.
About an hour away from you?
Yeah, the reasons I haven't done anything is because I haven't started doing anything in person yet. I still live pretty much like the lockdown life. Like I have everything delivered. Like I teach remotely. I'm thinking about moving to Minneapolis. I'm supposed to move to Minneapolis actually in the next couple weeks, but we'll see if that happens or not. But yeah, it's like I work remotely. I don't meet with any of my collaborators or any of that stuff. And the main thing that will signal return to normal to me is I'm not playing, right? And it's funny that all this is happening now because, to be honest, I feel like it's like taking a shotgun to my content and shooting it in the foot because I'm a musician, right? And like my best stuff is like me playing drums live in a band. That's the best content. I don't want to sit here and talk about fucking religion all day. I like to tell people my rock star mode is actually fucking rock star mode. Right? So that's the mode I want people to see me in, not sitting in a chair philosophizing mode or playing video games mode or whatever. Like I'm doing a lot of really cool stuff that I always wanted people to support me doing, but to not be able to play drums live because of the China virus and actually be like getting attention on YouTube and stuff and like have my channel growing but not be playing is just like, is this a fucking joke? Who wrote this? Whoever wrote this, fire whoever wrote this. This is awful. I object to this. So yeah, it's hard. But anyway, to answer your question, like once I feel like I'm more back to normal, which a lot of it is like signal stuff, right? Like I'm really worried about going to something, getting COVID, and then my job being like, so you won't teach and you won't come to lab meetings in person, but you got COVID at an atheist YouTube convention. Great, Great. So your priorities, let's have a chat about those, right? So far, I've been able to get away with this without having those conversations. So I'm trying to, but ultimately, yeah, I realized that a lot. Actually, I told my boss that I was like, actually, I'm going to be giving a lot more like than academic talks because I'll be able to start, you know, hopefully giving presentations at atheist conventions. I want to go to atheist conventions. I want to give the talks. I notice all the YouTubers giving their talks at the Better Thing, and I've been thinking about Austin long term. You know, eventually, because Jimmy Snow just moved, right? Jimmy Snow just moved and made a new studio. That's how I knew Derek was leveling up when he talked about moving, because I was like, oh, Jimmy Snow just moved, but he moved to Austin, right? And if you think about it, like, he's growing a lot, and now he's doing a lot more with the atheist experience, right? So it makes sense for him to move to Austin because now he's in driving distance of Matt Dillahunty, right? And so him and all that whole crew, they can all start doing all their little co-hosting and YouTube pervert stuff together. So Jimmy Snow, just like I did, he just got a big-ass screen and just set up a set, which is just like a table in front of the big-ass screen. And it looks fantastic, actually. So, yeah, I realized that that's a whole scene that I really want to get into. And eventually just start treating it like any nerd culture where you have your cons, you know, and we just got to... I think we got to eventually, when I'm more comfortable traveling, I think we should be going to all of them, right? Like, or as many as we can reasonably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting COVID while you're supposed to be on the clock and another way, I guess that's a...
Yeah, it's not great. Plus, I'm really trying to use this as an opportunity to see how far I can push the thing virtually that way. And I'm like, oh, y'all thought that there wasn't another level? Oh, y'all thought, no. Wait till you see Jay performing in person. Actually doing shit around other human beings. Part of the reason I don't want to be doing a lot of this social stuff is because I'm more social than most people. Like, you know, Jay has a work the room mode, and you don't go into work the room mode when it's, you know, not safe to touch and hug people and stuff like that. So, but yeah, gotta check out Tux TV, y'all. And also No Good and Evil. But Tux, you could drop probably the direct link to your channels.
The direct link?
Yeah, the No Good and Evil link is kind of pinned back there, and under captions. But I don't think the Tux TV one is.
I'm gonna have to refresh my screen. Hang on a second. I'm gonna disappear for a second.
Sure. But yeah, guys, that was really exciting. Man, I don't even know what to say. I think the theme for me has gotten to be. I used to joke about this when we first started, that the community was growing faster than I could keep up with, and that there was just so many things happening and people sending me so much stuff that, you know, it you feel like it outpaces you. But the thing that has been the theme this week is that you just never know what's going to happen, and you don't know when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I said to Derek, like the funny thing about the LPP stuff is like I said, you work so hard to get just a little bit of attention to stuff you put so much effort in, and then you have these random kind of throwaway conversations at night, which again that's not your show, it's not on your channel, right? You're not really doing your presentation, you're not doing a show, you're not really you're hardly given a chance to finish a fucking sentence, right? And then that turns out to be the thing. And then it's interesting too, because you guys got to remember that's a little bit part of the approach here is I don't mind going with the wild channels. Thanks for subbing over there, Cameron. We appreciate that. I don't mind going out to some of those wilder channels. And part of that is, again, I'm a small enough channel that they're doing me a favor. You got to remember, when I got 4 or 5 people watching my streams, and you go over to LPP's channel with his sidekick Bible Research Tools, and there's 35 people watching their live stream and a couple hundred people who watch their videos and their replays and stuff, right? You're like, oh, this guy LPP is like pretty cool. Like, he's wild AF as terms of his views, but he'll always let me come on and disagree with them, and you know, we can go at it, and he'll have me back on the next time he's on or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So you realize like it's all part of the game. It's all, you know, it's all part of trying to, you know, get out there and get some exposure. So it's funny because to me, the opportunity I was really responding to wasn't the opportunity for Gutsy Gibbon to make a video about me that 20,000 people would see. I had no idea that would happen, right? The opportunity I was responding to was Danny trying to troll us and being like, hey, you guys should go talk to these crazy Christians over at LPP. And we're like, Danny, we know exactly what you're doing. But yeah, we need some views. Y'all ready to go over to LPP? Right? And we've subjected ourselves to night after night after night of LPP's nonsense just because a couple dozen people might find our channel via that, right? And then it's responding to that opportunity. A couple of extra views in the good old hard wing creationist crowd, right? We're responding to that, and then that ends up being the thing. So literally, you just never know. And then of course all the support from Derek, that you know you can't buy that type of sponsorship and advertising in this community. So. You just never know what's going to be the thing. Fitness guy in the counter-apologetic community. Yeah, Cameron, you're not finding your right target audience. The Bible nerds are not the fitness crowd, Cameron. You got to re-examine some of your life choices there, my friend. Finally, I found something to critique Cameron about. There we go. I can die happy now. Go ahead, Tux.
I got, you know, I wonder what Tony Reed's up to these days. Have you ever watched him? He does like this. He investigates science.
Nah, but let's see if I can find a couple funny clips for us to respond to before we call him. That'd be a little. I guess, guys, I'm gonna try to do some gaming throughout the week, guys. Also this week, let me tell you guys something else. I wanna have another conversation with you guys. I'm really excited to share Sacred with you guys. My club, that you guys see me gaming with, the Sacred Death Motorcycle Club. I've been a part of that club for like 4 years. Those guys are like my heart. That's really like my family. We've been through so much together. I never thought I'd actually be an officer in that club. So to be the wise man in the club and all this is really crazy. But yeah, we're out here, you know, and that's who we are. We're GTA role-playing nerds. You guys might not believe this, but believe it or not, there's way more people who watch people play GTA online and are a part of the GTA role-playing community than there are nerds who watch Counter-Apologetics, right? So we do a lot of content and promotion because we're trying to come up in the GTA world, okay? So doing Sacred and tying all this stuff together, making this fake documentary where I kind of tie all my life experiences together and make this show, that's a really big thing to me. And I'm happy to start to share this with you guys. So, but you guys got to remember, I was out here doing that stuff for years, streaming GTA and WWE video games. Right, my channel actually started as a WWE gaming channel. That no lies. That's what we did. So we're just melding all that here. But you got to remember, guys, I do have a dream, and plans on getting Sal on. Sal, I'm trying to co-stream with Sal. I'm trying to go live on my channels and his channels, one-on-one with the great one. I think Sal's afraid of me, though. I think Sal's scared, and he should be, because Sal's a shitty scientist. And I'm going to tell Sal he's a shitty scientist, and I'm going to show his audience on his channel why he's a shitty scientist. So if I were him, I would decline my challenge. But I called him out last night, and I'm going to keep calling him out until he responds. Thank you, Cameron Bennett. Keep reminding us how much we're calling Sal out. And I might have to start sending him personal emails on air as proof that I'm challenging him. Because I'm not here to make friends, Sal. You're an awful scientist. But yeah, I also, guys, my real dream in life is to become a tenure-track professor. So what you're going to see me doing a lot on stream this week and in the future is doing a lot of digital evolution experiments and working on science projects and trying to write papers. Because I need you guys to support my dream, which is not to become a famous YouTuber. This is just supposed to be part of my science communication package so that the university gives me tenure. So like, oh, Jay, we see what you're doing. We think that's a valuable contribution to evolution education. Damn right it is. Now give me a goddamn job and some startup funds, right? And some TAs, because I'm busy. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I want you guys to remember that, right? That's the goal. The goal is to become a tenure track professor. Not a famous YouTuber. So we gotta keep that in mind. All right. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, I just know that I just came here to ride on your coattails, and the Lord has brought us together.
Yes, the spirit of doubt. All right. So what I'm gonna try to do is share my actually. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen in the what you call it, Tux, the restream. Yeah, and so we'll just watch clips for a little bit, and then we can still hear you and stuff, whatever.
Doug had a pretty good.
I thought there was a clip of like him. Yeah, there was a couple Doug
with
clips
Toby Singer and somebody else, a Christian apologist that. I put in the private chat that.
Hold on. Look, I'm gonna get sophisticated though. It says I can share window. No, I don't want to. I don't like sharing windows. I get weird. I just always share my entire screen instead of just sharing a window. But let me try something. Let me try to make a new window. It's because I'm lazy and I don't want to be. I just go. This is the screen I'm sharing, and then I know everybody can see everything I put on that screen. And it makes life simple and beautiful. All right, so let's see. I go here, and then I go, all right, and now it should say I got these other ones. Oh, cool. Look, I can share this one. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Now, the real question is... I got to switch this keyboard back because it was controlling the wrong thing. Now, here's another thing I do is I play something random. Can you hear it? Could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, that's the important test. All right, so look, that's a little production trick. If you ever want people to play a video for people and you really want them to hear the whole thing or the beginning of it, when you're doing the audio test, don't play the video, right? Play something else. Make sure everybody can hear everything. Then play the video, and you won't blow the beginning of the video or whatever if you care about that type of thing. I don't really care, but I like giving people sound check nerds because, guys, I'm a sound guy. I'm a tech nerd. I got to give people these type of tips. Also, I'm going to give you guys my first official sound tech lecture, Jay's philosophy on sound. Here's my philosophy. If I hand you one of these, it's called a microphone, and you think you said something really cool, and so you think you can drop this microphone on the ground, I think You should give me your cell phone, and then I should be able to drop your cell phone on the ground, because that is what sound guys want to do when we see you drop microphones. These are expensive electronic devices, not toys. You don't drop them on the ground. But let me show you guys something I've been working on a lot. Whoop! Oh! Yes, folks. It's the mic flip. Whoop! And I do this with the dynamic microphone because this microphone, I got 2 of these for like $100. These microphones are actually not that expensive. And so I do drop them sometimes when I'm practicing, and that just happens. But that's showmanship. There's a difference. When you're doing a showmanship trick, it's all show business. Shit happens. But if you're not doing a microphone trick, then there's no excuse. Also, another pro tip, I actually do practice my microphone flips, and mostly I do them over my bed, right? So that if the mic falls. See, that's a little behind now you guys see what I talk about. Champions have championship responsibilities. Now you got the picture in your head. Pocket, you really be in your bed? Like over your bed, like drilling? Like just literally drilling mic flips over and over again? Yes, folks. Yes, I practice this shit.
Just remember,
I'm not messing around.
He's not only skilled with a microphone, but he's wearing drummer gloves.
You know? And
ladies, if you ever want to experience practicing over a bed,
please join my FetLife is in the description. It's so good. All right, so I'm gonna play this. Let's see what we got on Pinecreek. He's got a couple clips for us here recently. All right, so
the one he dropped about 8 hours ago, I'd say.
8 hours ago. I love it when religions falsify each other.
Yes, I love it when religions falsify each other.
All right,
featuring.
All right, here we go. All right, so wait, you can see that. What was I doing? All right, so now I should be able to go here and do this, and the people can do what? No, this was dumb. See, this was dumb. This is why I don't like this. This is not. Now I'm confused. I don't even know. Now I got to pull back up Streamline. I don't know what people can see. No, we're not doing this, folks. We're not doing that. Here's what we're doing. I think you can see that backstage, right? And then I'm just going to show them on my screen. All right.
Well, I was going to say Jesus prophesied his own resurrection, and it happened. But I'll get to that in a minute.
Why would you believe that? Means
why wouldn't I believe it?
No, I got it. People could believe anything. The book of Matthew was written roughly, I mean, we can argue, but the book of Matthew generally is dated to about year 80, so it's written after the fact. I mean, this is Occam's razor. I'm not saying you have to believe that. You could believe the book of Matthew is written in 31 if you want. I don't know anyone who agrees, and I agreed not to quote
amazing.
Because this is fairly 80. Standard. You say 80.
60s
so
or 80s.
In 80s, so great. So
somewhere 60s,
80s. Then, of course, someone
whatever it
in 80
takes
could say that Jesus said those things, and Mark could say that because Mark was written about the year 70. About there, it makes complete sense that after the fact, someone can then insert those words in the mouth of Jesus.
Well, then, what do you think the time difference is? I understand you're saying it's, 50 years after, so, and it's after the destruction of the temple, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So, sure, that maybe they made up the fact that he was resurrected.
Very much so.
Yeah, so how many years passed between the flood and when Moses wrote about it?
So the flood occurred in the year 1648 after creation, and Moses, Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 9, Moses wrote the Torah down 40 years later, so Moses wrote the Torah down the year 2488.
Okay, so what's that, 800-something years?
Whatever.
Okay, that's a pretty long time for legend to develop.
Here we go. Yeah.
The Price is Right sad trombone just played right there. Dun, dun, dun.
I got it. See, that's the added production value we bring around here. Thanks to YouTube Punk, our great mod. YouTube Punk sent me a bunch of sounds for my private Radical Atheist soundboard, and that's one of the gems.
That is a gem.
Guys, I got another one for to take you back for when you want to call in. This is the thing.
Don't be lonely. Just call me. Let's party. Pick up the phone.
Do you remember those commercials, man?
I couldn't see that one.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, it didn't. You didn't hear it in the chat.
I could hear it, but
No, I didn't play anything. I just played the sound clip. It's just a sound clip I have. But do you remember those like call-in commercials, the late night calling? You don't have to be alone tonight. You didn't hear these Oh my goodness, these were epic. This was my favorite.
It sounded fantastic.
Yeah, they're for call girls.
Don't be lonely. Just call me. Let's party. Pick up the phone.
It was that old 900.
Yeah,
old
exactly.
900 advertisements.
Yes,
900.
Yes, I was like, that's the perfect thing for a call-in show. That is just...
call in first minutes free. $2.49.
There you go.
$2.49 a minute.
Oh man, Cameron, good night, brother. Appreciate you. I got a couple other Pinecreek clips I've been meaning to check out. All right, so here's one. This interview.
I think, like I told you before, I think you're a liar.
Oh, that's fine. Now, actually, it's not fine that you think I'm a liar.
I think that you're incapable of actual, genuine love. Like, you don't even love your wife and you don't love your children.
Holy shit!
Whoa!
Yeah, like you.
I listened to that live.
Like, what would make you?
Christian?
How would that make?
I caught parts of this, but I was, like I have to, doing all these streams and everything, right? I had to just like not listen to all of them sometimes, and so I missed this particular interview. But this was a great stream, guys. Of course, Doug at Pinecreek. There's eventually going to be people who find my channel who don't know who Pinecreek and people like Derek are. So I'm practicing introducing Pinecreek to people. But yeah, we're big Pinecreeksters. This was a fire stream he did that day. He had a couple boring callers. And I loved the chat saying he should have taken me instead. Loved it.
You were on for like 5 seconds, and he's like, "You're an atheist."
Yeah, that's how you know you're becoming friends with him when he literally makes it. He saw me backstage. He just made a deliberate show of hanging up on me.
It's like.
This is my black friend Jay. I can get away with hanging up on his ass. He won't. Yeah. But this was a great stream.
Better dad or the better husband.
Whoa!
Will make you. What?
You come on my channel.
Seriously.
And you claim I don't love my wife and children?
You don't, because you're leading your wife and children. Well, your wife is.
That's such a brash thing to say. I can't even believe you said it.
Yeah, it's true. Unbelievers are not capable of any real love and affection. Unbeliever is incapable of any kind of real love and affection for God and for their neighbor. And actually, you guys hate God.
What do you mean by real?
Neighbor. What do you mean? Like genuine. So this is what someone who hates their wife and their children sounds like. You're so desperate to cover up the fact that you love
Say that again.
And you hate your wife and children.
Say that again.
That you're willing to try and say another Christian is worse than you.
I'm changing the name of this stream.
Say it one more time. What?
Pinecreek hates his family.
Your wife and your children.
Me as an unbeliever hate.
You are not capable of any real love towards your wife and children.
Ladies and gentlemen, true Christianity on display.
Until you repent and come to faith in Jesus Christ for your sins, you will not be capable of real love for your wife and children.
And real love means
evidence of that. And evidence of that is because you're leading your children to hell.
What, have I done anything to hurt you?
No, you haven't. I actually enjoy talking to you. That's why I call you.
You enjoy coming on my show
with friends like these.
That's right. With friends like these, who needs enemas?
Did you enjoy saying what you just said to me about hating my children and wife? Did you enjoy that part?
No, it grieves me that you hate your wife and children. It grieves me that you hate your wife and children so much that you're willing to lead them to hell along with yourself.
Do you hate your wife?
No, I love my wife.
Do you hate your family?
No.
If Jesus told you to hate your wife, would you?
Down goes Fraser.
If Jesus told you to hate your wife, would you?
Jesus wouldn't tell me that.
Jesus would never tell you to hate your family?
I know what you're going. You're going to bring up that scripture. If you read that in context, Jesus is talking about your love for Jesus should be so great that it looks like hate for your family.
If Jesus told you to kill your wife, would you?
No, Jesus would never tell me to kill my wife.
Never do that.
Did Jesus ever tell you to kill your son?
Jesus would never tell me to kill my son.
Did Jesus ever tell Abraham to kill his son?
That's an Old Testament typology. Like, you see, I knew you were going to go there. I already see. You're so predictable.
I am fishing right now in a small bathtub. This is how easy it is. Under the new covenant, Jesus would never, ever, ever tell you to kill someone.
No, Jesus actually tells us to turn the other cheek and to love our enemies and to pray for those who persecute us and to bless those who curse us. Yeah, there's a parable of Jesus.
Where Jesus says to people to kill other people, right?
Yeah, that's talking about Jesus's. That's a parable of his second coming when he's going to return as a king.
Yeah.
That's talking about his judgment when he pours out his wrath.
True or false? Jesus in the New Testament.
Cameron.
In the future from this.
Cameron. See, guys. I want you to show some love for Cameron. Cameron is so active in our chat, and Cameron is such a great mod. He wants to go to bed, but he's still active in the chat, all right? And as you can see, he said, this was my favorite internet of the stream. I think he meant interview. And you guys see how hard it is for Cameron to be consistent because his fingers are so muscular, right? Cameron is part of the muscular class, right? And you see this type of typing atrophy. It's only common amongst bodybuilders of the highest order. Okay, just want you guys to be aware of that. We appreciate you, Cameron.
At this point in the future, can and will tell people to kill other people. True or false?
Not before he returns.
So we're in the sweet spot right now. Isn't that amazing?
The sweet
Testament,
spot.
Jesus tells people to kill other people. Apostolic age, Jesus casts his judgment on Ananias and Sapphira, but doesn't do it anymore because he's patient. And when the end times comes, then Jesus will tell people to kill other people. But we're in the sweet spot of history where Jesus doesn't do anything. Jesus commanded people to kill other people. The Old Testament, Jesus will command other people to kill other people. In the New Testament,
within its proper context.
Will be open to you.
I love this.
Every word of God is flawless. He's a shield to those who approaching him. Let us love one another, for love comes from God.
so good.
A priest's daughter who loses her honor by committing fornication and thereby dishonors her father also shall be burned to death.
Out of context! Leaving out the important parts of the Bible.
Anyone who blasphemes the name of the Lord must be put to death. The entire assembly must stone him.
What about the historical context?
Hey, David, are you still listening?
I love this.
This is you.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, have you ever seen on Mythbusters when they take a turd and they polish it? They literally polish a turd.
No, that's awful. They should not have done that.
It was, I believe, they polished a turd. They made this nice little round to look like a bocce ball when they were done.
That's what a lot of the religious are really doing. It's really awful. All right. Oh, he put up God Said I'm Chosen. I love that. I'm glad he put that up there. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's I think this is one of Nano's videos.
No one's going to be convinced by my presuppositional argumentation of logic or anybody else's. God has to grant them repentance, 2 Timothy 2:20.
Okay, he just admitted that
We are the
precept
original
argument
disciples
doesn't
of
work.
Nano the Disciple.
No one's going to be convinced using the precept argument. So here's a preceptor admitting it doesn't work. Well, what does work? This.
Argumentation of logic or anybody else's. God has to grant them repentance, 2 Timothy 2:25. He's got to open their mind to receive the scriptures, Luke 24:45. He's got to grant that they believe, Philippians 1:29. That belief's got to be in Christ, John 6:29. You know.
So what does work is when God does it. When God softens my heart, then I will be convinced. So all we have to do is wait. So if you're in unbelief right now,
wait on the
don't
Lord.
blame yourself. There's nothing that can convince your hard heart. There's nothing, you can't even change your hard heart, according to Calvinism. You're dead in your sinful nature. The only thing that can change you is God.
Guys, I totally disagree. Christians, blame yourselves. Okay, the Bible said, "Go and make disciples of nations." Go and make disciples of nature. Yeah, do that too. While you're at it, go and make disciples of nature. Guys, Derek talked about being really different than Pinecreek. I am super different than Pinecreek. Politically and socially, we are on opposite ends of the spectrums. But also, disciples of nature. That's why I think that's going to be one of my epic misquotes as an evolutionary biologist. Evolutionary biologist Lenski Labber himself, Jay Bundy, once said that we should go and make disciples of nature. But I cry a lot, guys. I'm a real crybaby. And I'm also a huge wrestling fan. Like, when people ask me, like, why didn't you read comic books? And why don't you watch anime? And why haven't you seen this movie? Why don't you watch this show? Because just like the WWE, then, now, forever together, I grew up missing everything because all I cared about was wrestling. And when I end this stream tonight, I will make my pizza. I will eat my wings, and I will go to bed watching pro wrestling pay-per-views from the mid-90s. The stick is not a stick, y'all. This is my real life, okay? But no, seriously, it's like I realized, I saw this clip the other day, The Rock gave Tamina, his younger cousin, who's also a professional wrestler, he bought her a house, right? And he, like, brought her in the house all, like, with her eyes closed, and he, like, opened her eyes, and he was like, "Welcome to your new house, cuz," and showed her all the pictures, and he put this on YouTube. Actually, I'm gonna show y'all this clip, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the clip. Rock buys Tamina house. Here we go. Right? Y'all will see where I'm going with this. Actually, let's do the short. I did the short. Let's do the short. Is this the short?
That's just his heart. You know, Dwayne.
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? No, I just want to see the original short. Stop messing around. Here we go.
All right, we love you so much, cuz. I'm so proud of you.
Wrestling is real. Yeah, anybody that said wrestling is fake, tell that to this house. Because ain't a damn thing fake about that professional wrestling money. Go tell these people professional wrestling isn't real, please. I would love to see that conversation. Put that on your Counter-Apologetics show.
I can't believe it.
All right, well,
that's his mama.
It's time. We're popping the time, mama. We love you. We love you.
Love you.
All right, so when I saw that, right, I was crying like a baby, and I had a very weird moment. I laughed and I smiled to myself, and I said, counter to what Pinecreek would have for you, Jay, you are not dead inside.
I had a few tears shed today. I watched like a documentary on Ron Santo, and just the huge heart that guy had just makes it difficult to shed a little tear.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Cubs fan.
I am definitely not that inside.
I am a professional crier at weddings and funerals.
Maybe on the Christian side is we need to combat anti-intellectualism in the church. There's a lot of Christians that are like, I just need faith, or I just need
same Cameron
music with strobe lights.
Oh,
all the good fog and the big mega churches.
Come on, it's a good smoke machine can go a long way.
Okay,
gotta get the feels.
No, so I think we need to combat, because I've been to churches and I've been like, do you have apologetics or do anything like that? We don't really do that here. We just want to focus on winning souls. I'm like, you're not winning souls if you're not including that. Let's be honest here. So I think we need to combat.
Good night, Cameron. Thank you so much.
How
bro.
does IP know that? What if it's true you can win more souls for Christ using emotion rather than intellect? I know they sometimes are intertwined, but IP, how do you know that? What if it were true that by making people feel guilty, making them feel desperate and low for the sin that they have, what if the fear of hell actually saved more souls than talking about any philosophical argument? Would you switch, Michael? Would you switch strategies?
Matter of fact, let me keep it 100 with y'all. I used to work at a church, right? And I worked at a very dynamic church. I worked at a church that the community surrounding this church in Newark, New Jersey, would probably call up the gangsters themselves and go to war to protect this fucking church, right? And that's because we did two things really well. One, we had a shit ton of fun, right? I was in a rap group at the church. We had a youth center that the pastor let the kids in the community spray paint up the stairs to the youth center. So you'd go down to the stairs to the youth center and it was all graffitied up, right? As long as it wasn't anything like, negative or whatever. And there was an arcade down there and a gaming center and a computing center. And we did a summer camp and a after school program and a youth program and all of this type of shit, right? It was soup kitchen and resume workshops and AA programs. So literally to Doug's point, right? We were a lot of fun. We were very small on Sunday. Not a whole lot of counter-apologetics. Not a whole lot of real deep theology, right? We were about going into the streets, becoming intertwined and indispensable with people's everyday lives. We were the people who were at your door at 8 o'clock in the morning to hold your students, your son or daughter's hand and walk them to school and pray with them and help them have a good day. And you know what? The kids fucking loved it because it showed that somebody cared about them. They felt safe. And they felt like, wow, somebody got up early this morning just to walk me to school, right? That's how you win hearts and minds. You become indispensable to their lives, and in lieu of that, you go with motherfucking rock and roll Jesus, right? I be trying to tell preachers this in my congregation all the time. Let the worship team what it does, right? The people that are here to hear you preach and do all the biblical exegesis, you're basically preaching to the choir. The reason people love this experience, the reason they're here and not the church down the street is because of the goddamn worship experience. I put asses in seats, like it or not.
Or are you just so embarrassed that you wouldn't? And I mean, like, that's just
I'm worth my weight in Christian gold.
That's emotional tactics. No, I can't bring myself to do it. But what if it's effective? Isn't this what it's all about? Like, look at the abortion debate. The most effective tool I think D6 would have with the abortion debate is to show pictures of, let's say, a 12-week, 20-week, 30-week fetus, baby, Show pictures of a rod going into the uterus and hacking that baby up. That is more effective than even words. You don't have to say anything after that. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
No, but I would totally agree, because I think I would approach your question, Eli.
Go fuck yourself, Taco. Taco made me laugh so hard I started coughing. I thought you win hearts and minds by invading the country and destabilizing it. That's fucking incredible.
That's a kind of a different angle, which is what Michael did here. Anti-intellectualism and biblical illiteracy are huge.
Yeah, what is it with this? Why are you Christians worried about anti-intellectualism within the church? Why do you guys even care about that? Can I remind these apologists of something? The gospel is foolishness to those who are perishing. Hello? God has made the wise things of the world foolish, and the foolish things wise. He's flipped the script, gentlemen. Do I need to remind you of your own scriptures? Why do you have this weakness within you that you need to appear intelligent in the world's eyes? Most people in the world view Christians like you as crazy and nutso. Accept it. Affirm it. Own it. If you believe a guy walked on water, died and rose from the dead, if you believe that Jesus is going to return on a white horse to collect his children at the end of time, people view you as nuts. You should look them in the eye and say, I get it. You view me as nuts and crazy, and that's to be expected, because what I believe is nuts and crazy. Stop desiring to be these intelligent, viewed as intelligent people.
This is my favorite Pinecreek ever. Stop trying to be viewed as intelligent people. It's what I mean when I say we're too nice to them. I gave the hypothetical to James Apperson. You could be a very good friend to me. You could be very concerned with my feelings. You could even decide that under no circumstances do you desire to hurt my feelings. But no matter what I was going through, no matter how much my confidence was shaken, no matter how desperate I seemed to need a boost of confidence, if I was 4'9", you would never try to convince me that I'm tall. And what I need people to understand is the one thing where Doug does this is this person high IQ, high neediness, low IQ, low need each night, the whole Punnett square. That's great. But to me, you can synthesize both of it with a lot of these people. They are high neediness, and their need is to be perceived as high IQ. That is their emotional need, right? And here's what's fucking interesting about this. The pew fillers, who I say that term, and some people think it's derogatory. I actually think it's affectionate. It's like a term of endearment. Go fuck yourselves. And what I mean by is they're the majority of the congregation, the majority of the believing public, right? There's always more people in the pews than there are on the platforms. They don't have this problem. They will do more or less what Doug just told you. They'll be like, yeah, I know Christianity doesn't make a lot of sense. I had a date, look me in the face, and I started telling her a little bit that I was getting in this Counter-Apologetics. I wasn't even making content at this point. I was just active in the chats and willing to talk about it. So she tells me she's Catholic. I'm surprised, right? I just assumed smart, cute girl. She's probably not in this religious nonsense, right? And I go, so, Jesus rose from the dead. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, so you mean like he was alive, then he was dead, then he was alive again? She's like, yeah, you know, she's like, I know it sounds a little crazy, but I came up with it, and, you know, I just decided, you know, there's some things you just got to believe in, right? Like a lot of those Christians, like they don't have a problem with this, right? They're like, yeah, I realize Christianity doesn't make sense intellectually, and I know people don't think it accords with a lot of the scientific worldview, right? Like they're just comfortable with that. Like they've made their peace with it, right? They're gonna love you anyway, right? Even though it doesn't make sense to you, they're gonna love you anyway, and they do. To a lot of their credit, right? Like a lot of the Christians, you know, like fuck with these theist apologists try to tell us, oh, you have the worst Christians in your life. No, a lot of y'all know. We know like the really sweet Christians, and, you know, they're the nicest people, right? If some shit happened to you right now, I know a lot of y'all be on the phone with the Christians y'all know, right? Right? Because you really need help, right? So you ain't got time for these lazy motherfuckers in your life who like will be the first to be making an excuse, right? Like you got a flat tire and it's raining. You need a motherfucker to give you a ride right now. You know about 5-10 Christians you could call right now. That'll be, Jay, what? You're stuck on the side of the road. I'm putting on my jacket right now. I'm so sorry, Jay. I didn't have my jacket on. I have to put my shoes on. You have to forgive me. I'm sorry. It'll take me a little bit. I have to put my shoes on. Honey, Jay needs help. I gotta go, right? Right? So that's where they're at, and we're with them. But you guys, no. You guys got this thing. You got this thing inside you. You got to be one of the smart kids. Everybody else growing up, for some reason, wanted to be the cool kids. They wanted to be the football coach. The football captain, they wanted to, you know, bang the cheerleaders. They wanted to be popular, maybe play guitar, play drums, something cool like that, you know? Not you guys. You guys were the weirdos that had nerd envy, right? Right. You were the weirdos who like weren't smart enough to be on the math club, but you really thought the math club kids were like the in thing. You were like, damn, you know, I tried out for that fucking math club. You know, you're the math club rejects. That's who you guys are. Like, just desperate to be smart.
Even people who believe in God think you're nuts. Trinity, really? Says the Muslim. Saved by grace, really? Says the Jew. Exclusive? Jesus the only way? Says the Hindu. And, you know what the atheists think. You guys have to own this. The world views you as nuts and crazy. And the more you keep talking about the things you believe, the more crazy you sound. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Damn.
Amen.
This is all foolishness to those who are perishing, and I will accept full responsibility that I'm perishing. I will also suggest that it may sound foolishness because it's foolish, and unless those 4 pillars, especially the last one, that one, if this is foolishness, then it's got a good high probability of being deception. If I could be just proven that you did your due diligence and you just didn't accept it on faith, you went and found out and said, you know what? I got the evidence right here that the devil didn't do it. That the bad guy didn't do it. That the deceiver didn't have any whisper campaign in this game. Not one. Not one teensy tiny little bit.
Another thing that is really weird, right, is a couple of things that I realized were emotional, like pulls that appeal to me as a Christian that don't appeal to me. So number one is I think substitutionary atonement is so wrong. like, let me be clear about this too, right? Like, I always tell people, if you're looking for somebody, if you're going to cancel people because you find out they did something bad in the past that you think is awful and, like, they should never have a platform, you should cancel me now. I be trying to tell people this, right? Like, I always say, shout out to the families that have somebody that's been in and out of jail, in and out of psych wards, really had a history of institutionalization. We really feel for those families. And extra special shout out if you are that person, right? So that's me. I always tell my advisor, people like me don't get PhDs. That's the real beauty of what I did. For real. I stole something from academia, and they can't take it back. They will definitely wish that they could. But seriously, folks, I say that to say this, folks, I've really done things I regret, right? A lot of people live this life and they've been privileged enough maybe that, like, the worst thing they've ever done is, maybe something they're a little not proud of, but, is pretty easy on the conscience to get over as just the old, oh, shucks, you mess up once or twice, nobody's perfect, right? Or the worst thing that's happened to you is something that's happened to somebody else. It's like, no, I've literally been fucked up, thrown in psych wards, had my freedom taken from me, without my constraint on that end, and then been in and out of the good old slammer a few more times than I care to recall. And I say that to say, like, even literally having done a lot of things I genuinely regret doing, right? I would never stand for the idea of somebody else taking responsibility. Right. Like as bad, as much as I wish I could wipe the slate clean about some shit, and I'm talking to all of yous out there who probably feel the same way about some real shit you done been through in your life, right? But at no point are we like, it would be great if some really innocent motherfucker came along and it was all put on him instead, right? Like, so that holy and blameless thing, I'm like, nah, don't even sign me up for that. I don't even want that. Like, even if I could get that by God's grace, like, I'm not down with that. I'm like, look, y'all, I took responsibility for the shit I did. That's why I'm here talking about it, because I dealt with it, which is what most people fucking do. I made amends with the people I could make amends with. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Even more grateful to them for reciprocating it when that was appropriate. And you move forward, right? That's real life, real shit, right? And I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with dying, right? Again, evolutionary biologist. I want the population to evolve. The world will never make progress if motherfuckers live forever. It just won't. It just means people with really old ideas who won't change their ways, who aren't being educated, who are just taking up resources, who are no longer reproductively viable, are just won't go anywhere. Like, it really would be like some biblical shit, right? People would be like, oh, we'd really have some more progressive policies, but the boomers who are literally now 487 plus years old, right? Like, come on, y'all. We don't want that, right? Like, let's all just live the best we can, be about this motherfucker when our time comes, and like leave the earth to future humans to make better use of, better resources with more information and hopefully do better than we're doing. Because to be honest with y'all, we're not really doing right now. Like, if I gave the human race, especially the motherfuckers with the information and access to resources to really do something, a report card right now, right? It'd be like, sayonara, See y'all niggas later. Like, y'all are not helping. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you right? Like, the earth is not like, oh, please, humans. Oh, what, humans? Oh, humans are the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. Oh, God, no, I wouldn't want humans to go extinct. Have you heard about humans in the environment? Humans are the best thing that ever happened to the environment. The earth, y'all, this planet don't want none of us, dog. Right? So seriously, you want to do the best thing for the environment? Die. Just literally just accept when it's our time to go.
Not all at once. Not all at once so that the fly population goes crazy.
Yeah, not all at the same time. But when your time comes, just accept that your time came. But with that in mind, folks, like, that is my sincere atheist prayer, right? Is that when my time comes, I think what we're really afraid of is dying. I don't want dying to be painful. I don't want it to be excruciating. I don't want to lose my dignity. I want the doctor to come in with the bad news. Hey, Jay, this and that is what's going on. Man, hey, doc, how serious is it? Oh, this is definitely really it. All right, how long do I have left? A couple weeks if you're lucky. All right, doc, cool. Look, let's organize the party. Everybody gather around. I'm smoke a little weed, watch a lot of wrestling. Everybody say their piece. I'm going to eat some buffalo wings. Doc's going to shoot me up with some real sleepy shit, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And so
say goodnight.
What I call that is poofing, right? 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 I just want to be here today, gone tomorrow.
That's fool.
You know what
it's foolproof. Foolproof, I tell you.
So when I tell people that I have an atheist prayer, and they be thinking I'm lying, like, no, I really want to poof. So when we leave, y'all, that's what we do. You could drop that bye command in the chat that lets us know you're poofing.
I'm gonna poof myself.
But yeah, I was gonna say anything else you want to tell the people before I poof?
I gotta get up at 7 something in the morning and walk the doggy.
All right.
So
well, thank you so much,
I'm gonna
Tux.
bug out. Thanks a bunch. And by the way, Derek posted your stream that he showed up on his channel's
Can you send me a link to that in Discord? So I can check that out after.
I mean, you really don't need to do it. You can just go to Myth Vision Podcast and go to the community tab.
Oh, it's like on the channel. Oh, wow. All right.
And so you've gotten 164 views on your video.
Yeah,
to this.
That's crazy. That's kind of why I separated out the after party. That way it could just be a self-contained thing. I really appreciate that. I might actually go back and have to retitle it to give Derek more of a shout out. But again, guys, people do that type of thing out of the kindness of their heart. And again, it's why we're conflicted even when it comes to people like Rebecca, right? Guys, Rebecca went out of her way to try to help this channel. And to provide me opportunities. She's always super, super cool when I show up to her panels. So as wide berth as we may take on substantive issues, on an interpersonal level, I'm a huge fan and very, very appreciative of Rebecca, right? Same thing with Guts at Gibbon, same thing with Derek, same thing with Pinecreek. Right, socially, politically, and Pinecreek may be worlds apart. I consider him a friend. A lot of the people, most of the people that were with me to start my venture into this type of content found me on Pinecreek's channel. Right, so hugely grateful to all the people that have helped out. Special shout out also to Nathan from Digital Gnosis and Danny. And honestly, guys, LPP, Bible Research Tools, where would I be without you? I love it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. This has been super fun. It's been a huge day. Onward and upward. We'll keep going. I will see you tomorrow. The goal is to be on here at 1 p.m. with Cliff. I'm going to let him react to the Gutsick Gibbon footage, and then we'll just keep going. Thank you guys so much. In the name of the Darwin and the Dawkins and the Christopher Hitchens, science bless you all. Poof.
She got that sweet juice, Minute Maid, some of out that lemonade. Take a sip, blowing purple clouds, taste like lemon haze. Conversations back and forth like damn, we could go on for days. Looking back.